Why is it so difficult to live in the present? You know that feeling when you're physically here, but your mind is a million miles away. Maybe you're thinking about everything you should have done the day before, or daydreaming about the weekend, and your mind keeps going and going. If it feels like being in a war, it's because you are. Not with an enemy, but with your own mind. And the worst part, most of us don't even realize we're losing. I'm Sia. On this channel, we talk about living your best life and how to enjoy every minute of it. Life is short, and you don't want to waste a second of it. So today, we're going to talk about living in the present. I know, just saying that sounds silly. Where else could we live? In the past? In the future? We're not characters in a film. The present is all we have, even if we don't realize it. Often when it's too late. Let me tell you my story. Most of the time I work alone, so I spend a lot of time in my mind. Maybe this makes me more aware of living in the present than others. But being aware doesn't make me better at it, better at fighting it. I still find myself spending a lot of time thinking about the past, the future, the state of the world. And goodness knows, with everything that's going on in the world today, there's a lot to think about. And if I do manage to push these thoughts aside, out of my mind, others creep in. I call them checklist thoughts. What color will I paint the living room? Should I recover the couch? Maybe it's time to get healthier. Become a vegan? Try yoga again? And when the thoughts get too loud, too insistent, I often go for a walk to clear my head. And instead of helping, many times it gets worse. My mind keeps racing and racing. So I'm not only missing the chance to relax, I'm also completely blind to the beauty around me. I imagine you've experienced the same thing. But the truth is, the mental noise we live with isn't natural. So let me share why we do it and how to find peace and clarity. First, let's look at the cost of mental absence. You know what's strange? We spend so much time trying to fit more into our lives. More experiences, more achievements, more connections. And yet, most of the time we're mentally checked out. Think about your own life for a second. How many sunsets have you seen while thinking about work? How many conversations have you had while your mind was going over yesterday's meeting? How many moments with people you love have slipped by unnoticed because your mind was somewhere else? This isn't just about missing out on life's pleasures. It's about a deeper disconnection. It happens when we're constantly time traveling in our minds. We become spectators to our own lives rather than active participants. So now let's look at why we escape the present and why it's so hard to stay there. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why I did this. Why was my mind so resistant to just being here in the now, in this moment? Then I realized something that changed everything for me. The present moment is where we have to face uncertainty and vulnerability. It's where we feel everything, the good and the bad. When I'm worrying about the future, I'm trying to prepare myself to feel safer by planning for every eventuality. When I'm rehashing the past, I'm trying to make sense of it, to find closure, or to protect myself from making the same mistakes, or even to rewrite it so I'm the hero. These mental escapes create the illusion that we're doing something productive, that somehow thinking about these things gives us control. But here's the truth I had to face. This mental time travel is often just a sophisticated form of avoidance. And what we're avoiding is the raw, unfiltered experience of being alive right now, with all its messiness and imperfection and pure, unadulterated joy. Let's talk about a concept I discovered that completely changed my perspective. It's called being in the now, fully inhabiting the present moment with your whole self. You might have heard of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. When I first read it years ago, the ideas resonated with me, but actually living them, it felt like something only spiritual gurus could achieve. It wasn't until I got fed up with constant mental noise running my life that I started to truly understand what being in the now actually means. It isn't about passive meditation or zoning out. Being in the now is actually incredibly active. It's about being fully engaged with whatever is happening around you. It's choosing to focus your full attention on your actual life that is unfolding now, rather than getting lost in the stories in your head. So now that you know what being in the now is, how do we actually practice it? How do we become more present when our minds are constantly drifting elsewhere? I found a few simple methods that have helped me do this. So let me share them with you. The first is to notice when your mind wanders. You can't be present if you don't realize when you're not present. Start by simply becoming aware. When your mind or your attention has drifted, no judgment, just notice. Like, oh, I'm planning my vacation, instead of listening to my friend sitting across from me. This awareness itself is revolutionary. Once you're aware, you can start to pull yourself back into the present. The second method is to use your senses as anchors. When I catch myself lost in thought, I immediately try to notice 3 things around me that I can see, hear, or touch. The room where I am, the ambient noises, the chair I'm sitting in. It's extremely simple but effective. It immediately grounds me in my body and brings me back to the present. The next technique is to single task. We pride ourselves on multitasking, but science has proved that our brains can only truly focus on one thing at a time. So when we think we're multitasking, we're actually just rapidly switching attention back and forth. And in that switching, we lose presence completely. We can't possibly be in the now when our mind is bouncing between multiple tasks. So try doing just one thing at a time with your full attention, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Sit quietly without your phone, walk without your earbuds. Let yourself experience one thing fully. Something else that helps bring me into the now was to find my mindfulness moments. And you're like, what in the world is that? So some call it being in the zone. You know, that moment when you do something and you're at one with your mind, your body, your surroundings. It's a wonderful feeling. It's time where time seems to disappear because we're so completely in the moment. For me, it happens when I'm riding and skiing. For you, it might be gardening, playing music, or drawing. These aren't just hobbies. They're gateways to being fully present. Whenever your mindfulness moments or being in the zone are, make regular time for them. They help your mind recognize what true presence feels like. And the real tragedy in not being present isn't just that we miss the everyday beauty of life when we're mentally absent. It's that we miss life itself. We miss the moments that matter. So let me give you an example. Last week, I was in a hurry to get somewhere, and I was walking down the street, lost in my mind, worrying that I was going to be late, thinking maybe I should have taken the bus. And then suddenly, something soft hit me on the shoulder. I looked down to see a purple flower that had fallen on me. And when I looked up, I saw that the entire street was lined with flowering purple trees. It was breathtakingly beautiful, and I almost missed it. It literally took something falling from the sky to wake me up to the beauty that was surrounding me. I stood there for a moment, taking it all in, wondering how many other amazing moments had I missed? And that small moment, it was so a powerful reminder. Life isn't happening in our plans, our worries, or in our mental to-do lists. It's happening right here, right now, in the smell of flowers in spring, in the smile of someone you love, or even in the taste of your morning coffee. Be honest, at the end of our lives, we won't wish that we'd spent more time going over our mental checklists. We'll wish we'd been more present for the beauty, the connections, the small everyday joys, the joys that make life worth living. So let me end by saying, this war we're fighting to live in the present, it isn't one you win once and for all. It's a practice, something you choose over and over again, hundreds of times a day. And each moment you're present, it's a victory. Some days I'm better at it than others, although there are still mornings when I realize I've showered, I've gotten dressed, and made my coffee, and I don't remember a minute of it. But now I catch myself sooner. And when I do, I gently bring myself back into the now. And each time I do this, it gets a little easier. Remember, the present moment is where your life is actually happening. Not in your memories, not in your plans, not in your fears or daydreams. Right here, right now. So let me ask you, where are you right now? Are you fully here, listening to this video, listening to these words, or is your mind elsewhere? And if you've drifted, that's okay. Just notice it. Take a breath and come back to the present. That's the practice. That's how you start winning the war. Because the present moment isn't just all we have. It's everything. And it's waiting for you to show up right now. So thanks for spending this time with me today. If this resonated with you, hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this. And if you want to learn how to master your emotions, click on the video in the top right-hand corner and let me know in the comments what helps you come back to the present. See you in the next video. And hopefully we'll both be fully present for it.